welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. This is episode 411.
Hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined by my lovely and wonderful wife, Anitra.
That's me.
And as is tradition, this is the show after PAX Unplugged, where we talk about PAX Unplugged, and I am sick.
Yeah, that has become tradition.
Yeah, that's part of the tradition.
So far, I'm not sick. Knock on wood. We'll see if that changes.
Yeah, well, I like to talk to people, and this is the fallout.
But anyway, we're going to talk about PAX Unplugged, but first, you have a fact.
Well, we have like the whole normal first half of the show thing.
Yeah.
It's not just a fact. It's not just me in between you, listener, and the PAX Unplugged interviews. It is all sorts of stuff. But really, I do have a fact. You mentioned it is our 411 episode 411. So kind of like last week where I flipped the 410 into 104, I'm going to talk about 411, but not talk about 411. And I'm going to talk about the other numbers that are on this spectrum. They call these the North American Numbering Plan, which establishes the federal, I guess, numbers. So 411 is actually not officially the number for information. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
By the way, for all of you children out there, 411 used to be an advertised number that you would pick up your telephone receiver and dial to get information. And actually, they would charge you by the minute for the information that you was almost like a phone-in encyclopedia.
Yeah, encyclopedia / phone book.
Yeah, and they would charge like $1.25 a minute to ask some random schmo on the other side some information.
Yeah, so kids, if you made that call without asking your parents first, they would find out when the phone bill came and be mad.
Great. Yeah, it was wonderful. So 411 was directory assistance. 611 was phone company repair. Those two were the kind of unofficial ones. But these other ones that I'm about to read off were officially assigned by the FCC.
And still are.
So there is 211, which is community services and information. 311, which is municipal government services. 511, which is traffic information.
I do see that advertised sometimes on the flashing billboards on the highway.
There's 711, which is TDD and relay for the deaf. I don't actually know what TDD stands for, but I know it's some kind of hearing.
It's like a captioning service, yeah.
There's 811, underground public utility location.
That is dig safe.
Yes,
call
that's what
811 before you dig.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, it's dig safe. And then, of course, there's 911, which is, emergency. So
yeah.
That is my fact this week. You think about 411 being directory assistance or information in general. What is the 411 on this piece of whatever? But I just wanted to share all the rest of the NANP, North American Numbering Plan, established federal number things.
Oh man, you made me feel super old when I realized that the slang of give me the 411. Millennials are definitely the last generation to understand that slang.
Yep. We and our closer, slightly younger peers are the last bastion of 411 information.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of feeling old, I have a message from our sponsor saying,
hey, that's not very nice.
How do you know if you're ready to retire?
Oh, that is about being old. Okay.
There is a financial aspect, but don't forget about the emotional and physical aspects as well. What would you do with your time if you were retired? How many rounds of golf can you really play in a week? How are you going to stay physically fit? One way to see if you're ready for retirement and to start to answer these and other questions is to take a practice retirement where you use vacation to just stay at home. You're not actually going on a vacation. You're not doing anything special. You're just not working for a little while. Not working from home, not working at all. See if you can find a rhythm that you like in your day. But also realize that you're going to need something to do, whether that's picking up a new hobby or volunteering your time with family or local organizations. It's hard to just sit still. Make sure that this vacation is long enough that you have time to get bored with just sitting around. Be ready though. Retirement often tests even the best marriages. I can attest to that in my grandparents and great-grandparents. As couples spend more free time together, there's often friction, which you may have already experienced a little bit if you're both working from home. So there's a lot to think about with retirement, but if you want help reviewing the financial part of prepping for retirement, you should set up a time to talk to First Move for free by going to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers today.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move Financial for sponsoring another episode of the show. So, Anitra, what do we want to cover first half of the show this week?
So we've actually played a ton of games in the last 2 weeks, not even counting the stuff we played at PAX Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked out 6 or 7 of the games that we played outside of PAX Unplugged, before and after.
You're telling me how to live my life?
If you want to pick different games, you can.
It's fine.
First up, we've played some more Ink. We've now hit this at all the player counts, 2, 3, and 4. This is a race game to place all your ink bottles, and our review of it should be going up the same day as this podcast.
Yep. I really like this game. We've talked about this a bunch. I really like this game. I think this game is beautiful. I love the components. They have a kind of a little bit of a toy factor to them, kind of, sort of. I mean, they're just really pretty. The ink bottles with the clear plastic, and then inside there's, different color plastic. I love the strategy of this game and how the objectives change every game. I just really, really enjoyed this. I don't feel like this is a mind-blowing experience, but I feel like it's solid all the way around.
I enjoyed the puzzly nature of it. I've been the one to sit down and play the solo version a couple of times, which I like, and it helped me appreciate the game better, but also showed me that there is a ton of dependence on luck in this game, which really shows up in the solo version because the Otoma player is not bound by the same conditions as regular players would be.
Yeah.
And so you've got 14 turns to get rid of all your ink bottles while the Otoma is going around and doing other things that gets rid of stuff. And sometimes you just don't get what you need.
Right. Yeah, I alluded to that in the part of the review that I wrote, that there certainly is an aspect of luck to the game. Look, if you're next in line and the right tiles come up, you can really have a very successful gameplay. But I do think that you can mitigate a lot of that, at least when you're playing with other players, and maybe it's just a little bit different in solo mode.
Yeah, in the solo mode, there's less turnover of the tiles around the wheel. So if the colors you need aren't coming up, the colors you need still aren't coming up.
I see. Yeah, and
that
there's no way
part's
to
hard.
wash the wheel.
Yeah.
The quill wheel. I learned that by reading the instructions today.
You read the instructions. Good for you.
All right, next on the list is Odin. This is another game that we have probably played enough at this point to write this review. This is probably the next one we're going to be working on. I really like this twist on a ladder climbing game. I think it's very good. I wish it flexed better to higher player counts, but this is a 3 and 4 player game almost exclusively, I think. We've played it at 5 and 6 now, and it's just too many people.
5 is okay. 6 is playable.
I mean, you feel the game bursting at the seams at 5.
Yeah. 5 is still okay, I think. But yeah, it is definitely absolutely best at 3 and 4 players. It is also playable at 2 players, but at 2 players, it's a lot less interesting. And at 6 players, there's a ton of downtime, and you can have multiple turns go by where you just have to pass because you don't have what's available.
Yeah, and that is another example of luck being a huge factor. Like when you get to those higher player counts, because you just don't have the opportunity with 5 people going in between you and your next turn to really put any kind of strategy together. It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah. But at 3 and 4 players, it's a fantastic game. Yep. We really, really like it. I think that'll be pretty clear in our review.
I would expect so.
We also played some more Chit Chat.
We did. We've talked about this game a bunch. We talked about how this is a great game to play during kind of the Thanksgiving of it all with family getting together. And actually, we didn't even end up playing this game. We ended up playing a different game that we'll talk about a little bit later during the Thanksgiving holiday. But during our game group, we got Chit Chat together and played a bunch of times, and it was a good time.
We had our best game ever.
Best game ever.
We scored 9 points out of a possible 10. It was amazing.
If you've ever played Chit Chat, you would be like, whoa. That's quite impressive. And it's not because we're impressive. All right, I'll just say we're impressive. We're not, but whatever.
We got everything almost perfectly in order this one time.
But that did not prevent us from hooping and hollering every single time.
Yes. Our review for Chit Chat is now up on the website. I highly recommend that you go check it out. This is a game that we have really enjoyed playing in this very low-stakes casual way, even though we do really, really badly. Like,
it's just super interesting.
Negative scores.
Yeah. It's just fun.
It's a good chill game.
Okay, we also played a couple games from Grand Gamers Guild that broke my head. The first of these is Stroop.
This is not a chill game. This is the opposite of a chill game.
No, this is one of those games where you look and you're like, ugh. That's how I feel playing it.
It was probably my worst game of Stroop ever. We've talked about Stroop as a game before, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to give a really quick rehash. Stroop is a game based on the Stroop effect, which is that your brain works harder and slower when the word you are reading does not match the attributes of the word. So like if you are trying to read the word yellow, but it's in red ink, your brain kind of slows down.
Yep.
In the game Stroop, there are, I think, 4 or 5 different things that could be the attributes of the word. It's the number of letters, the color, is it big letters or little letters, and hollow or solid, basically the font that the word is in. Round 1, you are trying to put down cards from your hand, a card from your hand, that matches the attribute listed on the card that is on the main pile. Round 2, you are trying to put down a card from your hand that describes the word that's on the main pile.
And this is not turns. This is as fast as possible. Everybody is trying to do this. So you're constantly trying to get your brain to function and run out of cards faster than everybody else.
Yeah. So we followed up our ridiculous shouty game of Stroop with the other game in the same series from Grand Gamers Guild. And this game is called Booba Kiki. This is much more of a party game, everybody working together. The goal in Booba Kiki is for a clue giver type person to play a shape from their hand to match one of 3 nonsense words that's out on the table. They can't really give any clues to it. It's just, I think this shape is going to match, word number 2 the best without saying anything. And then everyone else at the table guesses which of the 3 words was chosen.
So whoever the clue giver is just putting a shape out. And then everybody votes on which one of the 3, kind of including the clue giver. I mean, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
They think that the shape matches the word.
Yep.
And if you match the clue giver, then the team gets points. The team being everybody.
It's actually a point structure where you need to match the clue giver more times than you don't, because there's like a threshold of matching versus not matching.
Yeah. So it's like you can lose 10 points worth of points before you've lost the game, and you win by getting 10 points worth of points, kind of thing.
More or less, yeah.
That. So it's an interesting scoring mechanic. It's an interesting game altogether. The idea here is that more rounded shapes have softer consonants, and more pointy shapes have harder consonants. So booba would be, the kind of rounder things, and kiki would be the pointy thing.
Would be very spiky.
And that's the kind of the premise. And apparently this is some kind of attribute that's true across languages.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Kind of cool. So that is Booba Kiki. The next one is actually a game that you bought at PAX Unplugged, and this is the game Tropichaos.
Yeah, so I love Oink games. There's a few in our collection. We've talked about them before. And so I went to the Oink Games booth, tried a couple, and this one I liked enough that I came back later and I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a great game to play at home. So I bought it and then broke it out with us and a couple of folks in the game group. And I think we had fun. Tropichaos is a game about selling fruit or maybe fruit smoothies in the correct season. There are 3 fruits. There are 3 seasons. What you're doing is you're basically slowly accumulating fruit into your hand. And there's a bunch of rules about how things go, but it's pretty simple. When new tiles come out, either people can keep going around and keep buying more fruit, or they can sell the fruit, or the tile that comes out is a season change, and this little marker moves along the season board. The 3 kinds of fruit all have one season where they're worth a lot of money, and in the other 2 seasons, they're worth either a little bit of money, or in the case of the pomegranates, no money at all if you sell it out of season. You can only have 5 fruit in your hand, so you are eventually forced to sell some or all of your fruit, and you basically go through 2 sets of the 3 seasons, and then the game is over. You never know exactly when the season's going to change or when the game's going to end. I thought it was a neat little thing that once we got into the game, everybody understood it, and even though it felt like I was way out ahead and I was making awesome decisions, I won by like 2 points in the end. So it was a close game.
I mean, look, this is a very simple push your luck game, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
So the season tracker, I don't know if it starts in fall, it goes fall, summer, spring.
It goes
spring, summer,
green,
fall,
orange,
like
pink, whatever that was.
Yeah, whatever it is. Who knows?
Spring, summer, fall, I think.
Yeah, sure. But it goes through the cycle twice.
Yeah.
So you have kind of opportunities to buy, which is drafting a card, or sell, which is selling your cards. If you have an even number of cards in your hand, you can sell half. If you have an odd number of cards in your hand, you have to sell all. So there's some very loose mechanics around it. Interesting game. All right, the last game on the list is another game that we picked up at PAX Unplugged, and we've just been playing the heck out of it, I guess is the only way for me to say it.
Yeah, well, this was a perfect game for right after Thanksgiving dinner.
For being partially brain dead?
Also that. It's called Person Do Thing.
Okay, so the easiest way to describe this game is it's basically poetry for Neanderthals, only with a little bit more restriction around it. So you're going around in a circle and you are drawing a card and it has a word on it and you're trying to get everybody else to guess your word, but you really only have something like 30 words that you're allowed to use. And the outcome of this is you sound kind of like a Neanderthal trying to use these words to describe something that will eventually get people to guess the word in your hand.
If you're interested, I was just looking it up. They have a website. On the website, you have everything you need to play the game. If you just go to persondothing.com, it gives you your clue word at the top, and then it gives you your list of all the words you're allowed to use, and it even has a built-in 2-minute timer. Your goal is just to describe that target word in 2 minutes or less while only using the 34 super simple words. So, for example, you have the word no, which you can use to modify things like big or good or many, because you can't use the words like little and bad and, small and few. So no many.
Can you remind me what it was that I did for Celebrate?
Oh, it was like after thing, person say, good.
Yes, or something like that. No
Yeah.
sad, yes, or something. It was very
Yes,
silly, but
yes.
I was trying to be very animated about it.
And it worked eventually.
Eventually, I felt like an idiot.
So, very simple game, really enjoyable, completely cooperative. So this is very much a party game. Like, it's just a do this for a while. Everybody sounds dumb, but you get that rush when you get stuff right as a group.
Yeah, it's kind of like Taboo, only just as a full-on group game. Yeah, it was very fun.
Very much like it. There will probably be a review for that eventually as well. We need to figure out some of the details about exactly what we need to do in reviewing that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's just a small selection, only the games Anitra is allowing me to talk about.
Is there another game you want to talk about?
I would not want to affront...
The listeners cannot hear me rolling my eyes right now.
Oh, man. I will say we played a lot of Leaders, which is a game from Studio H. It's awesome. We'll talk about that later.
We're going to talk a lot about that later.
Yeah, it's a really, really good game. I had a lot of fun with that. But first, what we're going to do this show, or rather instead, or I don't even know what to say, but we're going to talk about the new people in our Family Gamers community because there's a whole bunch of them.
Yes. I wonder if one or two of these might have been at PAX Unplugged and met us and joined our community because of that.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter how you found us, let's welcome them. So, welcome to Linda.
Welcome to Rebecca.
Welcome to Astro Bold.
I feel like that might be a pseudonym.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Amy.
Welcome to Melania.
Welcome to Jerome.
Welcome to Aurea.
And welcome to Sue.
We're so glad that you've joined us. And please find our Facebook post and tell us how you found us.
Yeah, I definitely would love to know if any of you came from the 35,000 of our closest friends that we hung out with last weekend. That got me sick. Did you get me sick? Tell me if you got me sick.
Don't tell him. And while we're talking about community things, we are also going to talk about our backtalk question from 2 weeks ago.
All right, so our backtalk question 2 weeks ago was, what is your favorite thing to do at a convention? Obviously, this was looking forward to us being at PAX Unplugged. We talked about what we like to do. My favorite thing to do is catch up with all of our friends in the board game industry. And I did a lot of that, but there were a couple of people that I did not catch up with, which makes me super sad.
Yeah.
I did not see Ross Thompson. I did not see Bruce Vogue, who's technically no longer in the board game industry, but that makes me even more sad that I didn't get to catch up with him.
Yeah, and we didn't catch up with Steven Dutzman, but we'll see him online soon.
Yes, that is true. Steven Dutzman is our friend over at Engage Family Gaming. He will be coming on the show in a couple of weeks
soon
to talk about video games.
Yes. But let's talk about what all of you said is your favorite thing to do at a convention.
Well, Steven Dutzman said, I like finding friends and giving them high fives. We are one set of friends that he did not find. So,
sorry, Steven.
I'm not blaming you. I promise.
Bull Bondi says, for the last 3 spiels, I've been demoing for my favorite publisher, and I love doing it. I'd be happy going to a convention with 0 budget for new games and 0 time off, if I'd just be able to demo some of my favorite games all day.
I mean, look, I've worked a convention. I worked Essen even, doing,
Spiel,
demos and selling games. Our son Asher worked 2 different booths over the course of PAX Unplugged.
Yep.
I don't know if I could do an entire convention of it, but it is a fun thing to do sometimes.
I can appreciate it, but 2 hours is about my max of helping at a booth.
I mean, you are an introvert. Yeah. All right. Jeremy Pike says, seeing friends old and new and checking out new games. Well, Jeremy, you did a lot of that. Jeremy is one of our raiders.
Of that. Yes.
Did those things.
Peter on the Discord says, trying out games I wouldn't otherwise get a chance to play. Of course, getting to a convention is a whole different issue. I hear you, Peter.
Joseph Renninger says something that I think, Anitra, will align with kind of your thoughts about this, which is playing stuff I can't play at home. The prime example that I always seek out is an Overlord scenario from Memoir 44 with 8 people playing the game on a huge map. I do like the prototype Unpub stuff too. I've been to 2 of the Unpub conventions. I like participating in the creative process, giving feedback, and hearing people's stories of how they developed their games.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, seems like your kind of thing.
Not the 8-hour game part, but most of the rest, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ken on the Discord says he's never been to a convention, but he really wants to go sometime.
I want you to go sometime too, Ken.
That's
you
valid.
Should look in your local area. If you're willing to share the general metropolitan area in which you are, maybe we'll help you find something.
Yeah.
Daniel Rocky says, I like strolling to the edges of the exhibitors hall and discovering the new and indie publishers who generally get their first booths at the furthest corners of the hall. I totally agree with this. This is something that I love to do, although I epically failed at this. In fact, one of my board game friends was demoing for the game Obsession, which they had a booth at Unplugged. It was a very small booth. It was on the edge. And I just never went into that section because I had 59 booths that were on my list that I wanted to visit. And it was just happened to be in a very small area that I never walked through.
I will say that our teenage daughter has now picked up this at PAX Unplugged because, God bless her, she is not that interested in the big board games.
Mm-hmm.
But she's figured out that a lot of the accessory type booths also end up in that sort of outer edge. And so she spent a lot of time over there looking at all of the things adjacent to board games that she was more interested in.
Sure.
Adrian on the Discord says, my favorite thing is to play games. Cons like Dice Tower West, where open gaming is the main focus, are the best for me. With a huge library to draw from and plenty of players wanted and teachers wanted signs going up, it's easier for someone going solo like myself to get into games.
Totally support that and love it. Mark Spector, Grand Gamers Guild, says, work my butt off making gamers happy.
He's good at that.
Yeah, that is true.
Adrian also said that she followed our warning about Kabanga and Amigo.
Mm-hmm.
And so she ordered 3 copies from Noble Knight Games to be able to have some to give away.
That's a great thing to do. By the way, Amigo was at PAX Unplugged, and I led many people to that booth, and they had a giant bin of games for $5, and Kabanga was in there, so we bought 4 copies.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
We also found out that it's going to be reprinted as some kind of snail-themed game at Hasbro.
Yeah.
So at least the game will survive.
Yeah. When we find out more about that, we will definitely let you all know.
Absolutely. Colleen says, I enjoy sitting down for game demos at various booths, and Aaron, that's her husband, and I always love checking out First Look and learning a new game there. Aquatica, Azul, Summer Pavilion, and Namiji are some games we learned at First Look and now own. We have also recently enjoyed being able to share the experience with our kids. If we're able to get to PAX Unplugged for multiple days, our family rule is that you have to be at least 10 years old to come with us. In 2 years, that will include all 4 of our kids. Look out. This year, we can only attend on Sunday, so everyone gets to come. And I got to see them. You did not get to see them.
I did not get to see them.
Bummer. Sorry about that. That's my bad. I should have figured something out there.
It happens, man. Nick shared on the Facebook that one of the things he enjoys, at least at PAX Unplugged, is watching Andrew run around and network like a madman.
I do run around a lot. Final one on Facebook, Board Game for All Ages says, I'm with Anitra. I think having someone who knows the rules inside out teach you a new game whilst getting to play with new people at demo tables is great fun. Always great to play with old friends too.
Yeah, I did not do as much of that at PAX as I would have liked to, but we went to this Asmodee meetup demo thing for content creators. And so that did give me a little push of that, of just sitting down and be like, oh, now we're going to learn this game. And now we're going to learn this game. And now we're going to learn this game with new people each time, which I've realized is one of the things I really, really love about a convention setting.
Which is wild for your personality, but that's okay. Yeah, the Asmodee media meeting was really good.
It was really
excellent.
nice.
Mm-hmm. Very nice of them to invite us.
Yes.
And we're going to see Grant Lyon. Yay!
Yay!
All right, so that is it for our back talk answers. So why don't I take a very quick break, then we're going to go directly into all of our interviews. We have 13 interviews from the show floor. About half of them were me. And you did some, and Jeremy did some, and Nick did some. So we're going to mix them all up, and we will play all of those second half of the show. Then we'll be back for just a little bit of admin at the end. How's that sound?
Sounds pretty good to me.
All right, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is Andrew at PAX Unplugged Day 1. We are in the Snapships Tactics booth. I just sat down with Elliot and we played a couple of turns of this game, and I am here with Micah. How you doing, Micah?
I'm doing great, Andrew. So we're out here playing Snapships Tactics. This is a turn-based spaceship combat game. It's very modular. You get to change your ship, change your setup, make it whatever you want.
Yeah, so I look at this and I think this is like one of those Star Wars like X-Wing games kind of crossed with Galaxy Trucker, but you're trying to kill each other.
I would say that's pretty close. X-Wing, a lot of our player base and our designers were X-Wing and other like Mech Warrior players, things like that. So the theme is definitely there, except for terrain doesn't hurt you now, which we like. But the biggest difference and the biggest thing we like is modularity. It's made of exchangeable pieces, so you can make your ship look like you want, and you can make it play like you want.
Yeah, one of the really neat things about this game is you kind of have this tray in front of you, and you have a series of weapons or thrusters or whatever on cards, but then you also have the 3D version of the same things that you actually stick together, and you actually get the chance to make your actual ship and then fight with that ship.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I want to point out, we did a 1v1 fight, one ship versus one ship. It scales way bigger than that. So we have fleet-on-fleet battles, we have scenarios, we have players versus environment. We basically have everything baked into the game that you would want out of a spaceship game.
I can't even imagine playing this with like 10 people or something. That blows my mind.
I played it with 12. So.
Played it with 12.
Yeah.
Hey, Elliot, what did you think of Snapships Tactics?
It's amazing.
Well, there's the review.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah, right? So this is something that is for sale here at Unplugged and I assume on the internet and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, where can you get it? And second of all, what does it cost to get started playing Snapship Tactics?
So you can get it here at PAX Unplugged. We're selling a starter set that is a 1v1 fighting set. Basically 2 models on the board, 1 from each faction, and all the parts to customize that. And then all the machinery, your dice, your measurement tools, your terrain, everything like that for $65. You can find it online for about that same amount. This special we're doing here at PAX is all the available expansions and the starter kit and all the machinery to run 3v3, so 6 models on the board, and all the available expansion parts for $175.
All right, well, that is a lot of expandability. We talk a lot about replayability at the Family Gamers, and it sounds like you're going to get a whole lot of that if you pick that up at $175. Just out of curiosity, what would that bundle of stuff run you normally?
Individually, I think it would get pretty close to $200. Yeah, I think around there. I think it'd be $200. I have to do the math in my head.
No, don't worry about it. I put you on the spot. I apologize.
Yeah.
So we have Elliot saying, it is awesome. Every single table, except for the one that we're clogging up by doing this interview, is full of people that are playing around. The toy factor for this game is off the charts. So a lot of fun. We had a blast playing Snapship Tactics. Thank you very much, Micah.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
This is Jeremy with Family Gamers on day 2 of PAX Unplugged, and I'm here with Court from Pesco. Court, how's your convention going so far?
The convention has honestly been so good. We're doing a world premiere of One Piece Dawn of Liberation, and seeing fans get to react to this game for the very first time has given me all of the energy I need for the next 3 years.
That's awesome. So, what is Dawn of Liberation?
Dawn of Liberation is a 1 to 4 player cooperative experience that takes you through the Wano arc of One Piece, the longest and most iconic arc of the show. The game plays very similar to Pandemic, and people are very, very excited to see this for the first time. We have a pre-order campaign coming in March and a full release coming next year.
Without getting into too much details, what can fans look forward to if they pre-order this game, what kind of game are they getting?
Yeah, they're getting a very large box campaign-style game. We're looking at a 4 to 8 hour experience on your first play, and don't let that turn you off because we have several stop points in there where you can pack it in and not lose your progress. We know not everybody has the time or the energy to play for that long, but if you can do a 2-hour session, we've got you. Fans can also look for 20 playable characters, over 75 characters from the arc represented in the game, fully wooden pieces that we're so excited about, a brand new map for Wano that's never been seen before, and a custom sculpted dice tower.
Is this a game for One Piece fans, or is this a game for board gamers in general? Who is going to want to play this game?
That's a great question. One thing that we really look at CAS is how do we invite every single person to the table? So if you're a One Piece fan, this game has so much deep flavor in it. And if you're not a One Piece fan yet, you should probably get started, but you are still going to enjoy this game. Most of our playtesters have never seen One Piece before, and they have so much fun with the cooperative aspects, with the area control aspects, and taking on that final boss at the end.
Awesome. Thanks, Court. Enjoy the rest of your convention.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Andrew. It is still day one of PAX Unplugged. We're in the Outset Media booth looking at some cool games. I'm here with David. Say hi, David.
How you doing?
All right, so we've talked about a bunch of games already, and we're just going to go over a couple of them, I think. Just last week, you guys sent us a copy of Guildlands, which I'm very excited to break out. Do you want to talk a little bit about Guildlands?
Yeah, Guildlands is our newest game we've published. It came out late last year. It's the best way to describe it would be if Carcassonne met Root, and they had a child. It would be Guildlands.
Yeah, and my 14-year-old is asking for a copy of Root for Christmas, so I'm hoping that we're going to slide Guildlands in there, and maybe he'll be satiated by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely easier to play. Not as much knowledge of the guilds is required, but it is that, it's asymmetrical scoring.
Right. Well, that's exactly my concern, right? He's not going to have any problems playing Root, but I'm going to have to learn all of the different factions if I want to play with him, and I don't know if I have that kind of mental energy. So talk about Guildlands and how that's a little bit easier.
Yeah, so Guildlands comes with 6 different guilds. The basic play is the same for each guild, but the way they score is different, and they have some will have an extra movement allowed, but the scoring is different. But we're all playing off the same city where we place our tiles. It would generally takes about 3 games before you really learn all the guilds, so it's not a hard learn, but they are different.
Over next to Guildlands, or close to it, I notice Carrick, which you guys used to have, and then Cosmos had for a while, and now you guys have that back.
I love Carrick. My kids growing up, it was a game we played an awful lot. It's just an easy entry game into a dungeon crawler. So fun. Now that we have it back, we've introduced extra players. We've got extra rules for the main game. Near the end of the game, one player will turn and become Lord Karak, and can win by defeating all the other players. We also have miniatures, and also new is Karak 2, which is a step above. So if you've kind of graduated from Karak and you want to have a more challenging experience, that would be the one.
That was the other thing I was going to mention, is kind of this new game, and you said it's a kind of a step up. What's different about it that makes it a little bit more complicated?
There's a lot more movement to the game. The overall objective is similar, but really the similarities are the theme and the objective. The gameplay is quite different. You're managing your resources more, and there's a lot more movement involved. And actually, if you remember the pieces of Crack, they were square. These are hexagonal. Yeah, but it is quite different. It is definitely a step above.
All right, well, color me interested. One more game I want to talk about, which is not a step up, but kind of a step down in complexity, but a game that I really think is going to absolutely slap around our dining room table at Thanksgiving is Shadow Ninjas. Talk about that.
Yeah, Shadow Ninjas is really fun. Everybody will be a cat other than one player who's the dog, and the cats are trying to steal the koi carp, and the dog is trying to eliminate all the other ninjas, the cat ninjas, from the game. The graphics are beautiful, gameplay is really simple, but it appeals to a wide range of people. We brought copies to Essen, and it was the first game we brought that sold out. So it's got a broad appeal.
Any game that allows me to sing Anybody Wants to Be a Cat because the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at while I'm playing the game is probably a game I'm going to like.
That's rule number 2.
All right, well, like I said at the beginning, this is day 1. There's a lot of PAX to go, so I'm going to let you go, but I really appreciate you taking time talking about some of the stuff coming from Outside Media.
Thanks, Andrew.
I am here at PAX Unplugged with Seppi Yoon, and we're going to talk about some of your games today, Seppi. You do Fight in a Box.
Yes, Fight in a Box. I've been running Fight in a Box with my business partner since 2013. We're a little indie and out of the Twin Cities, and we're going to talk about small box games like stocking stuffers today.
Yes.
All right, so on Halloween, because everything is better on Halloween, and Halloween is Christmas for me, this is Halloween. We first, of course, have Puppies or Poop.
So we just played this. It was hilarious.
Yeah, no, so in Puppies or Poop, you're building cooperatively a doggy landmine field, and then you're trying to survive the longest with clean shoes. So you got to hide the puppies, and then poop happens, and that is the entire game. It's hysterical. It plays in 8 minutes. The how-to video is 3 minutes.
Basically, it's a giant leaf pile, right? So it's hiding. You don't know whether you're going to find a puppy or if you're going to find poop every time you flip something over.
Yes. Hopefully you create a system. You're like, this little corner is mine. I know where all those good puppies are. Or you create a system, or you know somebody's trying to do that and you mess with them a little bit.
Man, I thought I had a system and I instead pooped out on my third turn.
I think it got shifted on you. I think
so too.
I think somebody put the grid and oriented it, and suddenly your plan got shifted by one, and then everything got pooped
nothing
out.
worked.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is a great all ages 8+ title. Well, super approachable, especially if you're trying to get non-gamers to accept a gamer thing.
Yeah.
We have sold in all its iterations. It is a reskin of Squirrel or Die. On all its iterations, we've sold 19,000 copies of it.
That's pretty impressive.
It's good. It is an enduring indie, absolutely, and it's a great gateway game. Super small, adorable box. So, on the opposite end of our small box, again, same format. We love this tiny box format, and it's basically 36 cards. I think Puppies or Poop is 28, but 28 to 36 cards, of course, is Kaiser Cucumber and the Gangs of Mechanical Corners.
Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. And in that, you, of course, are evil geniuses trying to out-heist each other.
Yes.
Because we've had a whole larceny theme today.
We have.
Yes. I made you...
The puppies were a little break from the larceny.
You defeated the Raccoon Tycoon. You guys did a lot of stuff. But in a Kaiser Cucumber, each one of you is a different mastermind, and you want your agents to sneak into the vault. You want your rival to go to jail, and then you want everybody else to be left on the streets. And so you are keystone capering the bunny bobbies. Those are the police in that world.
Okay.
And you're turning them around, trying to figure out, sending them to chase other people off, having them send other people to jail, while your agents are secretly lifting the Monachiza, the Scream Cheese, the self-portrait of Frida Kahlo. And these are all real art pieces you can find in the other game, which is, of course, Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber.
Yes.
Yeah, it's thinky, it's quick, it has an amazing solo version, and it's 1 to 4 players.
All right, that sounds awesome. Seppi, if anyone is interested in these games, especially if they're thinking of Christmas stocking stuffers, where can they find them?
They should go to Fight in a Box. You can get them as a collector set with these. Let's say how nice these bags are.
Yes, they are beautiful canvas bags with embroidery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could get one of those which has all the boxes in it, or I think right now we have 5 collector sets, and you like these collector sets. They were sumptuous, but they're in the opposite end. They're a luxury end. We only made I think 100 of these total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Fightingabox.com.
Run, don't walk to fightingabox.com.
Yes, if you wanted the most luxury, it's crazy, isn't it?
They're beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much.
This is Nick with the Family Gamers, day 1 at PAX Unplugged 2025. I'm here at SRG Universe Games with Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing amazing. Always happy to be here at PAX. It's been a great weekend for several years now.
So what are you most excited about for this weekend?
For this weekend, I want to check out WrestleMania from 9th Level. They brought in Brandon Cutler from AEW. I'm a big wrestling fan. This is a wrestling RPG crossover that some of the characters I created are also featured in that game, so I can't wait to check out their booth, in addition to my own booth here at PAX.
Awesome. So I'm looking at your booth over here. It looks like you do have some wrestling games. You want to talk about your latest release?
Oh, I would love to. So our game, Super Show, is the #1 rated wrestling card game of all time, according to Board Game Geek reviews of 10 years. And this year, for the first time, following our Kickstarter, we have Super Lucha, which is a crossover between our game Super Show and Mucha Lucha, which was a cartoon from like the late 90s that was on Warner Brothers. It was created by Eddie Mort. Eddie Mort is back as our artist for this game. So you got the Super Show mechanics with the amazing aesthetics from that cartoon. So if you recognize guys like The Flea and Ricochet, these are all our original characters from the original creator in our Super Show world, which has been a dream come true for me.
Awesome. And can you talk about the mechanics of the game? We just did a demo of it, but I'd love to tell our audience about how you kind of play.
So we try to capture what it's really like in a wrestling match. So we want it to be very back and forth and unpredictable. Just like a real wrestling match, your goal is to hit a finishing move. And to do that, you have to have a follow-up in play. And then to play a follow-up, you have to have a lead. So it's a simple mechanic: lead, follow-up, finish. They fight in the Legendary Fighting Federation, or LFF, to help you remember that. And in each turn, what makes the game really exciting is you roll what's called a turn roll. And whoever gets the highest roll gets to draw a card and play one of those cards. It's almost like rolling for initiative in like role-playing games. But the cool twist is you don't rotate your turn. So just like a real wrestling match, one person might win a bunch of turn rolls in a row. The really exciting part of the game is when you hit your finishing move, you're going to roll what's called a finish roll. And your opponent gets 3 breakout rolls to tie that. That emulates a referee's 3 count. So it's really going to give you that excitement of trying to get that high roll before you have 3 chances and the 1, 2, 3 of a wrestling match. If you do kick out, the crowd meter increases and it makes the game easier to win the next time you hit a finishing move. If you don't, we crown a new Super Lucha champion.
Very cool. And it looks like, and you also have a solo mode as I'm staring at the boxes over here. So for single player mode.
So for 12 years, people have asked for a Super Show solo mode. We finally have one through the Super Lucha. In this case, you get a character, Gogawa. You can play any character, but in this, you get a 1-player deck that can be used in any other play, and you play against the Renegade Master. He'll have 3 levels of difficulty, and you roll a dice for you and a dice for the Renegade Master. If he wins rolls, he either triggers an effect or attempts to turn over a tile. And then he'll try to build up leads, follow-ups, and finishes just like you, turning his tiles over in succession. It has been really well reviewed. You can check out some reviews from Ron Talks Tabletop. He was one of the lead testers on it, and the feedback has been really great for that. So excited to have solo mode for the first time.
Awesome. And then you were telling me earlier as we were demoing, you also have a Rummy Gummies game that you and your daughter designed?
That was my 12-year-old daughter, Isabella, came up with this idea. We created a really fun family game called Rummy Gummies, which has been a big hit. It plays like gin rummy, if you ever played that around the coffee table like I did growing up. Your goal is to collect 4 of a kind and 3 of a kind of sets. In this case, you're looking to get flavored bears. There are 4 to choose from. You could get like 4 cherry and 3 grapes to get a winning hand. However, the twist is gummy worms can't be matched to win. And if they're thrown out, if 3 in a row are in the discard pile, they trigger an effect. They could do things like skip, reverse, pass a card to the left, draw a new hand. They can be really chaotic and really good for you or really bad for you at the timing. So it is rummy with Uno-like effects with a little touch of strategy, and it's been an amazing game. Not only because I designed it with my family, but because it's been really so well received as like a light family game.
Awesome. What's the age of entry on that game?
I would say about 7, 8 is really good. I like to play games at home with my family. If the rules got to be bent a little bit for kids, I'm like, as long as they're at the table, that's what it's about for me.
Exactly.
But I'd say about 7, 8 years old is the sweet spot for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much for talking with me this morning. And then where can folks find you online and find your games?
SuperShowTheGame.com will be the main hub. You can find all our games, Super Show. We have a pirate game, Scally Wager, Rummy Gummies, and Super Lucha. Social media, just look for SRG Universe. We're all on. We have a great Twitch, a Discord, Instagram, all of the above. Check those out. And any questions about products, it'll probably get straight to me, and I'll happy to field any questions you send to me as soon as possible.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
Hey, everybody. It is Andrew, PAX Unplugged, day 1. We're getting close to the end of the day. A little bit more hoarse than I was at the beginning of the day. I am standing in the Envy Born Games booth with Matthew. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you for being here. So,
You got a couple of games here, one of which I'm not going to say which one I picked up, but one of which I picked up for one of my kids for Christmas. So let's talk about some games. You've got a couple of games on the tables here. Let's talk about Sirens. Tell me about Sirens.
So Sirens was actually the first game in our Tiny Game series. It's a Greek mythology themed game. I love Greek mythology. I don't know if my booth gives it away or not. I know everyone can't see my booth right now, but I love Greek mythology. It's a 1 to 2 player game. You actually take on the role of a siren, and you are card drafting musical cards to build out a song. Now, you don't need to know music to play it, but they all do have musical notes on them. And whoever has the highest scoring song, is going to lure sailors to the side of the cove and eventually win the game. But it's a quick 10 to 15 minute game. And the unique thing about that game is it has a companion app where you can actually take a picture of the cards you collected and the song you built, and it plays it back to you.
Okay, that is the coolest thing ever. I'm looking at a copy. I have a copy in my hands right now. The art on this, it's got that kind of like old school. I'm sure there's a name for this kind of art, and anybody who knows art is cringing right now. It's almost like silhouette Greek art. Is there a name for this? Do you know?
There probably is. Off the top of my head, I don't. But I will say the artist, Gabby, she did a great job. And basically she did research on Greek pottery, basically, and was like that inspired most of that game's art.
Awesome. It looks great. Another game that looks incredible is Hercules and the 12 Labors. I mean, for real, this is an artistic masterpiece. The first time I saw this, I literally stopped dead in my tracks. I think it's because it was one of these huge posters, and I was like, okay, this game looks amazing. And then there's foil accents on the cards. It's this like super cool solo game. Like, tell me about this game. This game's amazing.
All right, yeah, Hercules and the 12 Layers is a big hit for us. Everyone's been loving it. It's been amazing. But yeah, it took us about 3 months to find the artist, David Schneider. He's very talented. We paid about 10 artists to submit pieces and then ultimately made a decision. And we're really happy we went with David. Ammon Anderson's actually the graphic designer on it.
Of course he is. Ammon does everything, everywhere, all of the time.
He is all over the place. But he helped a lot with it, obviously, made it beautiful. Couldn't have done it without him either. And then Tyler Brown is the designer, and he's super talented. And we're actually doing Jason the Argonauts next, so we're going to keep doing solo mythology games built on this system.
I will keep buying solo mythology built on this system.
But yeah, it's a solo Greek mythology themed game. You take on the role of Hercules and you battle your way through the 12 Labors. It's a blast and it's a ton of fun and very difficult, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. And so my understanding, it's not like there's a set order that you have to go through them in, right? It's a little bit different depending on how you want to do it.
Well, it is a linear path. You are following the story of Hercules and 12 Labors, but there are these mood cards that come out that changes up. Basically, each gameplay adds a randomness to it. And then after you defeat certain labors, you have to choose rewards. So each time you play through, you can try different rewards added to your bag of goodies and the way that you manipulate your dice values.
It's almost kind of engine buildery, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, definitely. You can find synergies that work well together.
Right. Okay, cool. So that's 2 Greek games, and you mentioned Jason the Argonauts, so that's 3 Greek games, technically. Tell me about something else that you guys are publishing.
Well, we have our Tiny Games line, and we are continuing that as well. So next year we're going to have Prowl, Dragon Roost, and Space Potato launching on Kickstarter as part of our Tiny Box series line.
All right, sweet.
Very excited for those.
That's a lot of stuff. That's amazing. You guys do a ton of really fun stuff in small boxes. I love all of it. Thanks for spending some time with me, Matthew.
Absolutely. Thanks for talking to me.
This is Nick and Jeremy from the Family Gamers, day 1 at PAX Unplugged with Sean from Kids Table Board Games and Burnt Island Games. How you doing, Sean?
Very good. Always happy to be in Philadelphia. Great city, and this is one of my favorite shows of the year, so really happy to be here.
Awesome. So what are you most excited about here at PAX this year?
All right, well, I will give you my professional answer and then my personal answer. So professionally, I'm really excited to be showing off layers and having layers for sale for the first time. This is a game that we've demoed at many conventions, and the question that follows every demo is, when can I buy it? And finally, we can answer today. Today you can buy it, and it's been selling really well, so I've been really happy about that. Awesome. But we've also been able to show off some new and upcoming games for 2026, including Seashells, which is a very simple set collection game where you're taking a walk on the beach and putting together the best collection of seashells that you can. It's a new game by Bruno Faiduti, and it's going to be a Gen Con 2026 release, but you can also get it on the River Market Kickstarter today. And another one that we just announced is Pack and Paddle. This is by Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley, and the idea of this game is you are going to be spending 3 days camping out in the woods with the stars as your ceiling and the wilderness as your playground. And it is a game where you are going to collect different sets of things like the elements to make a s'more, or socks that hopefully come in a pair, and hot dogs that are going to get decreasingly valuable as you go along. But you can also take a hike and see some nature or go paddling in your canoe. So we're really excited about this one because this has been our first opportunity to really show it off, and people have been really enjoying it and having a lot of fun playing this one. So that's been great. And then on the Burnt Island side of things, we've been showing off Tree Line, which is the first game in our new small box line of games. It's going to be coming out in 2026, and the idea of it is that you are the leader of a forest clan trying to reclaim the landscape that has been covered with cities of stone and brick, and finally you're going to restore it to its former lush green glory. You just hope to be in a position to lead it once it has been reclaimed. So it has been a fantastic show and been having a lot of fun. Now, my personal thing, what I've loved personally is just seeing friends. Like, we had a media event last night and got together with a lot of folks from the media, and seeing friends, other publishers, fans, and media members. Just that is always the best part of any convention, is being able to connect with people. And it kind of reminds us, like, why we make our games is seeing people having fun with the games, and it's that kind of visceral enjoyment that we kind of forget about when we're in our little caves working on our games. So seeing people play a game, and when it connects with them, that has been a ton of fun. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right, and I have a really loaded question for you. So, give me your favorite Burnt Island or Kids Table family-friendly game out of the library, and then what's your favorite crunchy out of the catalog?
Excellent question. Okay, so I will say family-friendly has to be Dice Veggies, because it has great table presence. Anybody can play it, and you just shouldn't play it if you're hungry, because there's a lot of good recipes in that game. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say Endeavor Deep Sea is my favorite crunchy game, just because it is so replayable. It's got so much depth to it, but it's accessible. Like, last week, my nephew wanted to play games, and his only request, like, can we please play Endeavor Deep Sea? And I was like, I know we got a good game on our hands. Also, the Kenner Spiel was helpful, too, to let me know.
Yeah, congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, what a thrill. But, yeah, Endeavor Deep Sea, just for its replayability and its message, is great, too. So,
yeah. Cool. Yeah, we just, Halloween just happened a few weeks ago, so we brought out the
Haunt the House. Yeah, great.
That was a lot of fun.
Great class.
Yeah. With my gaming group, and we had a good time with it.
Great class.
I did terrible. Everybody else did really good.
Nice.
All right. Well, where can folks find you online and find your games?
Yeah. So we're at Kids Table BG and BurntIslandGames.com. And you can find our games either on that website or in greater FLGS around the world.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming back.
It is the last day of PAX Unplugged. I am here with Jason Anarchy from Jason Anarchy Games, and he's going to tell us about their new game, Trombone Champ.
Hello, I'm Jason Anarchy. So we released the new Trombone Champ card game. And the first thing you're probably thinking is, why does the world need a card game based on the video game Trombone Champ? The developers said the same thing when I pitched this to them. And I'm like, no, play a game. And then they did, and they're like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So basically, it's a card game where you have these song cards with someone playing a trombone, but the trombone isn't finished. And you're laying cards, extending the length of the trombone, getting combos, playing notes. There's a lot of that same goofy, wide-eyed humor from the video game. You can also place hot dog tokens on other players' notes, so instead of scoring the notes, they're eating hot dogs. But if you don't like that, you can summon a baboon to eat all the hot dogs for you. So there's a lot of really accurate things to how trombone playing really works in real life.
Totally accurate, yeah.
We've all been there. You know, you're playing the trombone, a bunch of hot dogs start squirting out, and then Anyway, it's a lot of goofy music humor. It's a lot of fun. Probably way better than it has any right to be.
Yeah, honestly, I was looking at it, and I personally cannot stand the video game, but my whole family thinks it's hilarious. But even for me, looking around at the different songs that are involved and who's playing them, there is a lot of sort of inside jokes for people who do know music, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, one of the big things I tried to do was, you don't need to know anything about trombone to enjoy this game, which the original video game is like that, too.
It's also true, yes.
And the original video game on the loading screen had like the fake trombone facts. So I really leaned into that with this game, where every single card has a different fake trombone fact. And I had a lot of fun writing those, and they got really bonkers. And I thought the original game developers might, veto some of them or have some suggestions. But they let me do all the silly fake trombone facts that I wanted. So they were wonderful to work with on every level.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope the remaining couple of hours of PAX Unplugged go really well for you.
Thank you so much. You too.
Hey everybody, it is Andrew again at PAX Unplugged. I am now in the Wonderful World Board Games booth looking at some very, very cool games. Two of them I really, really want to take home with me, but I don't think I can. One of them is called Dragonarium, and the other one is called Last Lantern. I'm here with Ariel. Say hi.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about both of these games. So Ariel, let's start with Dragonarium, which is on Kickstarter right now.
Yes.
First of all, how long is it going to be on Kickstarter?
It's going to be on there for 21 days. It just launched yesterday, so 20 days left.
All right, so when you hear this, if you download this podcast the day it is published, you've got about a week. So we're going to talk about Dragonarium, and then you're going to hopefully go kickstart it. That's the plan. All right, so talk a little bit about this game.
So just like an aquarium is a place for marine animals, Dragonarium is a place for dragons. All the players are competing against each other to see who built the best. By the best, we're counting scores by the end of the game by connecting tile times layers. If you play Acropolis, King Dominoes, it's very similar strategy. So on each round, a player will pick a tile and place it. The goal here is kind of to match the icons that is required on the board and collect elements to fulfill it. Only after it is fulfilled, you can stack another tile on top to get more scores, and you're also hatching dragons that you can place anywhere on the board. When placing a dragon on top of the tile, you're changing the color of the tile also into the color of the dragon. For example, I place it on the blue tile. Now the tile is blue and red at the same time. So you're expanding your same color connecting tiles without disturbing your original plan.
So in this case, you've put a red dragon on a blue tile, and so that tile is now blue and red.
Yes.
And so, like in normal King Domino, where you would just score each region, now you actually have regions that overlap with each other, and when you score them, you're scoring the same tile in two different ways.
Yes, exactly. And the game goes like this for about 12 rounds. At the end, we just count the scores by connecting tile times layers of each colors.
All right, and it looks great. This is a beautiful game with dragons all over it. So if you have a dragon lover in your family like we do in ours, Dragonarium is definitely something that you want to check out. Now we're going to kind of shimmy over to the other side of the booth here, and we're going to talk about Last Lantern.
So in a very short way, it's a co-op Tetris game. So each player is representing one of the characters, and we are all walking on our own lane together toward the finish line together as a team without losing the game. On each round, we will draw some tiles and place them below the animal meeples. At this stage of the game, we cannot communicate with each other. What we do is we spin the lantern board to which one we wanted to choose. And together, we show it to see who gets what. If all the players choose different ones, that's great because each player gets a set of animal and a tile. If two or more players chose the same one, the unchosen tile would be placed on top of the board. If you collect too many, you lose the game. And be aware when building your way over to the finish line, not to leave too many gaps behind. Because all the empty spaces when you're crossing the line right here would be full with fireflies that you draw from the black. There are the black fireflies and the gold fireflies. The gold one, safe for you. Black one, not so much. Because if you have 4 black firefly on the whole board, the team also lose the game. And the game ends when one player crosses the finish line.
All right, so this is a silent co-op, which sounds wonderful. I like the idea of just a nice, quiet game. But seriously, this actually looks like a fairly difficult cooperative game.
It is not so easy, but that's when the animals are here to help you. If you collect one of each animal meeples, it will activate special ability that can help you fill in those like awkward tiny spaces or get rid of like the black fireflies from the bag and etc. that help you to win the game a little bit easier.
So Last Lantern, totally different kind of game from Dragonarium, but one thing they have in common is they are both absolutely gorgeous. And that's actually true for a lot of the games at Wonderful World Board Games. I mean, there's so much here. Loco Momo's another game, Movieholic, Fashion Police. There's just a lot here from a publisher that I don't know a whole lot about.
So we are a small publisher from Taiwan, so we do our own like original games, and we hire like real like artists from Taiwan as well, no AI included. So yeah, all the art, like we're very happy that people are appreciating the art a lot. So we're mainly focusing on what we call family plus games. So those are games perfect for families, friends, but not so easy, but not too difficult to a point that it's very difficult for people to learn. It's easy to learn, but deep in strategy. It's kind of the game that we're focusing on.
And, I think you are doing a great job, certainly with these two games that we just talked about. So if you're out there and Dragonarium sounds interesting, head over to Kickstarter, type it in the search bar at the top, check it out. Again, once this podcast comes out, you've got about a week to think about backing Dragonarium from Wonderful World Board Games. Thanks so much, Ariel.
Thank you so much.
So we're at day 2 PAX Unplugged at the Bezier Games booth. I'm here with Jay and Jeremy. How you doing, Jay?
What's up? I'm doing great. My feet are tired, but I'm ready to game.
Awesome. So what has been exciting for you so far at the show?
Well, we have pretty much our 2027 line here with Game Makers and Zombie Princess and Haunted Mouse. We've been demoing them, and people have been loving them. So we're really excited to see how the rest of the world is going to react when we release them finally next summer.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Zombie Princess, because Rebel Princess was a hit with my Grim Gook. Can you tell us a little about Zombie Princess?
Yeah, absolutely. So it turns out that the Chads were creepy because they're zombies, and then now you, being the princess, have to gear up and save the zombies by chopping off their heads. But it's really just spades, so you're bidding on how many zombies you're going to save, and you still have all the different princesses, like there's 12 princesses, there's 26 round cards. What's really exciting, though, is that it's also a individual or team game. And my favorite way to play is like 2v2. I mean, team games are just fun in general, and if you win, it's because both of you are awesome, and if you lose, it's because of your partner didn't carry the weight. Not you.
And then moving on, you also have a new game about mice. Can we hear a little bit about that?
Yeah, Haunted Mouse is designed by Jonathan Cox from Getting Games, and the artwork is done by Sai Beppu. So, and we're really excited about it. I think it's a scout killer. Like, it's a great ladder climbing shitting game, but I like that there's a cool card economy where I could use everyone else's cards and they could use mine. And it just makes the game a lot more interactive and fun. And we've been getting a great response from everyone. Everyone at that table smiling. So I'm happy about that.
And then finally, over here, we have the Game Makers. What is going on here with this behemoth?
Well, the Game Makers was our $1 million crowdfunding campaign. And you are a board game manufacturer making the greatest board games of all time. And these are real world board games. I think we have like TI4, we have Arc Nova. Like, if you think of a game, it's probably in there. Over like 400 games, I think, by now. It's designed by Ben Rossett, so it has a really cool Formaggio rondelle to it. And it's just, when you look at it, it's just gorgeous. You have this big wheel rondelle with all these components in there. It's fantastic.
Awesome. And then with Christmas holidays is coming up around the corner, what would you recommend from the Bezier catalog for like stocking stuffers and gifts for family gamers or just people that aren't even into gaming?
Yeah, well, we have a great little $15 card line. So like from that, my favorite is probably Sears Catalog. It's a great ladder climbing shedding game where you don't want to shed out, which is kind of unreal when you think about it. There's also Xylatar, which is a great chick-ticking game where you can deduce everyone's hands. Those are probably the two I would recommend for like your great stocking stuffers.
Awesome. And where can folks find Bezier online?
At BezierGames.com or at Bezier Games on pretty much every platform you can think of.
Awesome. And we're going to do a little bonus clip here for PAX. So Jay, I follow you on Blue Sky. You have your whole channel for gaming. Can you tell us a little bit about your channel and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Cardboard East. I review board games from Asia. I lived the expat life for like 20 years, so it's my thank you for Asia kind of being so good to me. So I talk about games from like Taiwan, Singapore, Japan, on that side of the world. I mean, there's not much news about those games. So me helping people figure out what those games are and what the cool ones are is just what that channel's all about.
So what would be some of your like 1 or 2 top faves recently that your favorite that we should check out?
Bitcoin is one of my favorite trick-taking games of all time. It's like a bid as you go. I find that really fascinating. Tornado Splash is just meatballs on jet skis, and it is so simple, but it's just fun. Also, Dogfight 1917. It's not about actual dogs fighting. It's about aerial combat.
Okay.
I've ran into that problem. It's like, it's about dogfighting. Like, oh my gosh, why would I play that game? It's like, no, it's like aerial combat, and it's like a streamlined Wings of War, and it's just a lot of fun. You can play like 1v1. You can play like a battle royale with like 4 players. Like you do a 2v2. A ton of fun. I absolutely love that game.
All right, awesome. And one more time, what's your channel again?
It's Cardboard East.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jay. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much for stopping by.
Hey, everybody. Andrew on the show floor, PAX Unplugged, still day 1. Right now, one of the people I'm talking to is Play.z's very own industry legend, Zev Schlesinger. How you doing, Zev?
Hey, man. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's the show been so far for you? It's been early, but how's it been?
I'm very happy. Been very crowded, a lot of traffic, a lot of sales and demos, so we're very happy.
All right, so Play.z is kind of an interesting company. I feel like I know most of the people that are involved in starting this company, which is just kind of cool, or at least I know of some of them. But you're doing some interesting things. So you've got a mix of new stuff, a mix of stuff that you're kind of resurrecting, things like that. It's really awesome. I want to talk about a couple of games. One of those new games is Animal Rescue Team. I've heard so much about this game. I want to hear from you. Talk about Animal Rescue Team.
Well, Animal Rescue Team, it basically shows that I went to work back with Matt Leacock. I remember I did his Pandemic way back in 2008 when I was Z-Man Games. And so we came to work together again, and this is a cooperative game about rescuing animals. His co-designer is a real-life animal rescuer, and we also got Shut Up and Sit Down as part of the package. What I did with them is sort of like we have an imprint of a Shut Up and Sit Down Presents line, where these are games that they vet, they help out with in many different ways, art direction, flavor text, developing rules, play testing, and so on and so forth. So this is the first one in that line with them. But yeah, I call it a board game plus 5 because, again, it's Matt Leacock Cooperative. You have a real-life animal rescuer co-designer. You have Shut Up and Sit Down. You have these cool toy factor vehicles that are part of the game. And the theme is amazing. You're rescuing animals. So yeah, very, very proud of that.
That's great. There was a game that came out, I don't remember exactly what it's called. Miller Zoo was the name of the game that came out a couple of years ago out of Randolph in Canada. And Miller Zoo is a real zoo. And so it was a whole kind of game around taking care of the animals there. And this really, everything I've seen about this, everything I've heard about this, it ratchets that up, both a little bit in terms of complexity, but also all the kinds of stuff that you're doing in the game.
Yeah, so in this game, the focus is you are trying to complete 3 missions in the game. But there's a lot of rescues that happen while that's happening. So you have to mitigate all that by making sure you rescue as much as you can while you're trying to complete the 3 missions. But once you do the 3 missions within time, you win the game. But again, you want to make sure no animal goes unrescued, because that means another team came in and did the rescue for you. And it's going around the map, and you're trying to determine if you can make the rescue. You're trying to bring the right specialists, the right equipment, the right vehicles, because also the animals have to fit in the vehicles, and then you want to probably drive them back to the shelter so that you can reuse the vehicles. And you have 6 different vehicles, and they hold different size animals, and that's the other thing. The animals come in a small, medium, and large. So that's sort of part of the puzzle of trying to figure out how best to rescue them. You can mitigate the difficulty by bringing the right people, the right equipment, and the right vehicles.
I love it. I'm so into this game already. I haven't even sat down to actually play it, and I really want to. But there's another game that also looks fantastic and like a lot of fun, and that's Twisted Trumpets. You want to talk about that?
So we call it's a tile-laying root building game of building Dr. Seussian type trumpets. Nice twisted trumpets. Great family game. Takes about 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players. Relatively simple. You got 2 actions on a turn. Drawing tiles, buying premium tiles, placing tiles. And yeah, it's really just fun when you build out the trumpet. Everyone builds it out differently. And you score points for the length of the pipe from a bell to the person blowing the trumpet. You score for notes surrounding birds. You got 4 different color flags, and you count how many you have of each and then score for that. But yeah, it plays a little bit into the silly and goofiness of, again, the twisty type trumpets that you're building.
Well, and we have a trumpet player in our extended family, so I want to get him down to give Twisted Trumpets a try.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And there's also public objectives and private objectives. That's part of the game as well. And it's all very musical themed, so it really fits everything.
I love it. All right, so you've taken my lead on those 2 games. Pick one more game. You got a ton of games in this booth. Pick one more game that you want to talk about.
You know what? We've been getting a lot of interest in Soothsayers. Soothsayers uses the classic Rider-Waite tarot deck, and it is a tarot-type game where you have the major arcana that people know about, but they all have powers. You're trying to get a number of fate tokens, depending on the player count. You have a minor arcana that will help generate the money and the cards and the power to capture the tarot, the major arcana, and you use that to try to get fate tokens as well. So really also sort of a medium weight game. Plays in about 45, 60 minutes, 2 to 5 players.
It's almost too bad that it's 2 weeks after Halloween that we're talking about this game.
Right?
Zev, this has been great. Anytime I talk about you, they're like, I don't know who this guy is. It was like, oh, he's the Z and Z-Man games. It's always a thrill. There's always people coming up and shaking your hand because you're such a legend in this industry. So I really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to talk to us.
My pleasure, man. Thank you, Andrew.
I am here on day 3 of PAX Unplugged.
Day 3, we're almost done.
So close. With Eric from Doomlings. So tell us about the new stuff that you're coming out with.
Yeah, so we just released our 3rd bolster expansion for the year. It's called Makoko Village. It's 40 new playing cards that slot right into the game. It's got some mechanics that users may be familiar with already. Things like the suppress mechanic from Deeplings, for example, does appear in the new Makoko Village. We also just released our gold packs called Nightflower Island. So we've just upgraded every gold pack that we have in Nightflower Island from 7 holofoils to 8 guaranteed holofoils in each pack. And we just launched our gold box, which has 15 gold packs inside of it. This was a response to our community. We didn't think anybody wanted 15 gold packs, and they are the #1 selling product right now on our website. So
obviously you're doing something right.
Lesson learned, listen to the community.
So for people who don't know, for people who have somehow not managed to see our review of Doomlings and knows what in the world Doomlings is. By the way, you don't look like a Doomling, but you are like the father of Doomlings. So talk a little bit about what Doomlings is.
Yes. So Doomlings is a medium weight strategy game posing as a lightweight game. So the artwork is very bright, colorful, feels like your favorite trading card game where you have to catch them all, but it is not.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Exactly. The reason was we wanted basically a way to trick our moms into playing Magic the Gathering with us.
I can see how that works.
Yes, it's one of those things where you don't realize you're playing a strategy game because the cards just tell you what to do. And so the concept is basically you want to score the most points before the world ends. And so you're flipping these age cards that introduce a new rule to the game each round for that round only. And it'll be very simple, something like no blue cards this round. But hidden in those age cards are catastrophes, which will introduce an adverse effect to the game, something like everybody pass your hand to the right. After 3 catastrophes strike and you don't know when they'll hit, the world ends, the game is over, and the player with the most points wins.
It really is just that simple, and that's what makes Doomlings a great game. Can you tell us a little bit about where it came from?
Yeah, so our brief origin story is Justice Meyer and myself were unemployed during the pandemic. We were filmmakers and then we had nothing to do. And Justice had this idea for a card game that he was going to make with his brother, kind of as a hobby, where they were going to put it together, maybe order 3 or 5 prototypes to give out at Christmas and then just kind of call it. And then the pandemic hit and we had nothing to do. And I remember being like, hey, remember that thing that I was worried about distracting us from our real jobs? Like, what if we did that? And he was like, glad you asked, because I've been working on it. And we just went down a rabbit hole and discovered what Kickstarter was. Again, we had never made a game before. We had never backed a game before. Put it on Kickstarter in March of 2021, and it just took off. I mean, we were funded in under an hour. It went on to do, I think, $650,000, which was more money than I've ever heard of in my life. I didn't know how much things cost, though, so, But yeah, it really just took off, and our community has been there just supporting us ever since. We did another Kickstarter the following year, raised over $1 million on that one, and it's just been expanding like crazy, and we're now in Target and Walmart, and we've been played in 81 countries around the world now. It's crazy. It's so wild. Just happy to be riding this crazy bus as long as it goes.
All right, so I think the last thing we need to ask is if someone listening to this interview wants to find your game, other than Googling Doomlings, where can they find you?
Well, Googling Doomlings would be the best way to do it. We do a lot of promos where we give away limited edition holofoils or bundles and things that you can't necessarily find in the store at Target or Walmart. We'll do, just all kinds of exciting giveaways on our Discord, which is a really great place to get to know the community. If you've ever been in a group chat with 4,100 people, it's a lot of fun. And we're also on Amazon too in the US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, France, Spain, and the Netherlands. A lot of Amazon.
Wow, all right.
You can find us. We're out there. But
everywhere fine games are sold.
We're working on getting us into every local game shop we can. We call 30 stores a week, just going, hey, do you have Doomlings? Nope. Can we send you some? Cool, let's do it. So if your local game store doesn't carry Doomlings, ask them or write us an email and we will ask them. But we are very excited to be still introducing ourselves to the community.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, totally. My pleasure.
This is Nick with the Family Gamers, day 3 at PAX Unplugged. I'm over here at the Capstone Games booth with Chris. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing really well.
How's the show been for you?
It's been fun. Of course, I'm tired, but that's the end of any show, yeah.
So have you had any magical moments or favorite thing you've seen or got to do while you were here this year?
I never get to play as much as I want to, but I did check out a game called Chiefs and Shadows last night. That was fun, and played a couple other little things. So PAX is just a great show, and it's a great town to visit.
And just from standing here for a couple minutes, I hear a bunch of your titles have been flying off the shelf. So let's start with some of the family weight stuff first, and we'll kind of dive in because you also do the heavier weight stuff. So let's talk about some of your newer titles.
Yeah, the one that is completely sold out is Sanctuary. That is in the Arc Nova line of games. It is a little bit more than family. It's just family plus, I'd say. So if you can play Cascadia or something like that, it's a tile placement game where you're putting animals in your zoo and projects and buildings, and it's over in about an hour and a half for 4 players instead of that 3 to 4 hour game that Arc Nova can be sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was sold out yesterday. Up or Down has been really great for us this year. It's a nice little card game. It's also on Board Game Arena. And then we debuted Rowdy Partners at the show with the designers here hanging out sometimes too. I think it's a really fun trick-taking game for 2, 3, or 4 players. And then, of course, we brought Wandering Towers because we can't not bring Wanderers. Yeah.
So, going back to Rowdy Partners, let's talk a little bit about the theme because it's very unique and it's not your traditional trick-taking size box. So, talk to me about that a little bit.
That's right. That box weighs 5 pounds because it is, and you open it up, there's only 2 punch boards, and those punch boards are pretty small. The rest of the room is there are 6 characters you can play as when you're playing with a teammate, or you can play as a headliner if you want to play by yourself, and then you're going to get a manager. So, lots of options in the game. Each one of those characters has their own abilities, so it really does work well at 2. I actually prefer it at 2 because you're playing these kind of side decks that you play as headliners. It's a lot of fun.
And as headliners, you're talking about wrestling, right?
Right. We didn't even get to that part. These are wrestlers in a weird West town that we made up called Dusty Gulch, and there's a donkey who she's on the front of the box, and she has dynamite in her mouth because that's her name.
Awesome, very cool. And then what would you say, what's the age entry on that one?
If you have kids that have played trick-taking games, it's going to feel familiar. So 8, 9 maybe at that age are going to grasp the concepts, have a lot of fun with it. But if they are new to that type of game, you might want to do 10 or 11 instead.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And then Capstone is also really known for your more heavier weight games, the gamers games. So tell me about some of your favorite titles you currently have out now.
Well, my personal favorite this year is a game called Forestry. For some people, he's going to be a new designer, although he's been working for years as a graphic designer and playtester for CGE and stuff like that. And this is by Mikhail. He's a great guy. Forestry is a game, though, where you are managing a forest as you sustainably harvest it. So you get to replant the forest. And also, you're making products, like speakers, or even, did you know that they made a wooden satellite and sent it out in space?
Oh, wow.
And that card is in that game. So it's a fun game if you like Euro-style games, where I'm kind of doing my own thing. There's a little bit of interaction on the board, though, if somebody got something I needed first. We do a little bit of interaction like that. But also, from the same partner there in Europe, we have Galileo Luna. Galileo was a bestseller for us this last year. And now we have the expansion to that game.
Awesome. The artwork on that is so pretty, and so I would definitely say any kind of science geek or space geek should check this one out.
Mikhail, who did who designed Forestry, he's a multi-talented guy. He did all the artwork and the solo mode for Galileo.
I'll make sure I snag some pictures so we can tag on our post here, because the artwork is just beautiful on that.
Yeah, he's a really talented, super nice guy, and he also never stops eating. He's not a big guy, but he's just like, yeah, it's time to snack now. So
awesome. Well, game snacks, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Coming, and we're close to getting to be 2026. So is there any titles you can talk about that Capstone has coming out next year?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Aquaria, which is also by Tomasz Holak, who did Galileo and Tea Garden from us. That's on its way right now. We have the Tea Garden expansion, again, Tomasz Holak. And we also have a new version of Stickum that's going to be refreshed with Weberson Santiago artwork. And if you do like Wandering Towers, it's going to come as no surprise that the expansion, the small back expansion that was at Essen, we are also already working on that. That's already at the factory getting prepped for production. So that'll be out this next year too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then where could our fans find you online?
We're at capstone-games.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. We try to keep up with everybody who says hi and other things. Of course, it shows next year. We'll be at Origins Gen Con PAX, but online, capstone-games.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Hey everybody, it's Andrew. It's at the end of day one. Literally, they're telling me that the PAX floor is closing, but I'm cramming one last interview in with Justin, who is from Mooncrab Games. We're talking about Leviathan Wilds. All right. Do you want to talk about the game first, or should I talk about the game first?
Why don't you go ahead?
You want to hear what I have to say? Okay. So I read this game as a cross between Shadow of the Colossus and Skull Hollow, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summation of it. It's a cooperative game, whereas your Skull Hollow and Malpeak are head-to-head.
Sure.
And you work together with your fellow climbers to scale these giant creatures and cure them of a sickness. Now, unfortunately, they're not of sound mind, so they're going to be trying to kill you the entire time you're doing that.
Too bad. I mean, I guess if they weren't trying to kill you, it wouldn't be much of a board game.
That is true, yeah. It would be a little bit too easy, and we're all about the fun and challenge here.
So first of all, so that's in terms of like general idea. There are these large hulking monsters. Your group is climbing up the monsters and doing things at certain points on the monsters.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so the primary goal is that there are these crystals, which are represented by dice, scattered throughout the Leviathan's body. And you have to climb out to all these different places, go out on limbs, and sometimes literal, because there's a tree monster in there too. And remove all of those crystals by striking them. But of course, the Leviathan's attacking you. You have to deal with terrain. And, each Leviathan has a unique art piece and a unique shape and unique rules that go along with it. All of it takes place in a spiral book. So it's really, really easy to set up. You just open the book to whatever Leviathan you want to do and just shuffle up your decks and start playing.
Yeah, that's actually the next thing that I was going to say is I love the presentation here. So I'm a big fan of Skull Hollow and Malpeak. We talk about them on the show all the time. But there's a lot of pieces that you have to take out and set up, and you got to pick the monster, and the monster's got his deck, and you got to set the monster board out, and then there's the main board. So there's all this stuff. But here, there's just way fewer pieces on the table.
Yeah. One of the really big goals of this game was to make it so that it's really, really fast to set up and that there's really not a ton of pieces. But one of the things I'm most proud of is just how much decision space we managed to squeeze out of those components. The Leviathan AI deck, the things that it's doing to you, each one of them is only 5 cards. And that's intentional because it's kind of a boss fight. You need to learn what it's going to be doing to you. But they're coming out in a different order. Over time, they're using an enraged side, which means it's going to get much worse over time. So it's both escalating in ways that are scary, as well as giving you the opportunity to understand what might be coming at you. So you're kind of evolving with the Leviathan over the course of the game into this climactic finale that just gets more and more exciting until you get there. Whether you win or lose, it's always a good time.
And of course, obviously, because it's 2025, we've got expansions too.
Of course. So, we came from a background working for Asmodee and most specifically Fantasy Flight Games and Z-Man Games. So we're very, very well attuned to make a really good base game and then support it with more quality content. So that's our thing. We've got one expansion that was crowdfunded last year, added more Leviathans and another climber in class. And then we've just announced another expansion, a little bit beefier than the first one, which has 11 more Leviathans and 3 more climbers and classes. Worth noting that the climber and class is a smash-up style shuffle build, so you get a unique combination with all of them. So we started the first core game, 8 of each means you have 64 combinations, plus Deep Fail, that's 9 of each, 81. Going up to 12 of each is now 144 combinations. So
I love that you describe it as the smash-up style. I guess are they the first game to do that style of deck shuffle play?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of anybody using shuffle building before that, so maybe.
I don't know, who knows? A lot of people do it now. I mean, and I think it's a great way to introduce. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a really great way to get variety. So.
Okay, so you just announced the second expansion, and I'm spitballing here, that's going to crowdfunding?
Yep, gonna go to crowdfunding sometime, probably March or April of next year. Game's mostly done. We're just getting the art put together, and then we'll also be, doing some crowd building, make sure we know roughly what we're getting into once we hit the launch button on it.
Awesome. And for people who know Skulk Hollow, Mall Peak, that kind of style, where is this on complexity related to that? I mean, what's the age rating on the game?
The age rating is officially 10 plus. I have successfully played it with 7-year-olds, and they understand it. Honestly, the biggest thing is just how strong are they at reading.
Sure.
And if you can help them with that, if you're playing with families, like we've had a lot of people come up and say that it's been a big hit with their family, like that they've really enjoyed it, that it bridges the gap between parent and kid. So
yeah, that's our jam, of course.
Mine too. Like my kids are 7 and 11, and they both enjoy the game. So
awesome. All right, so the game is Leviathan Wilds. Where can people go to get the game right now?
So a bunch of retailers have copies of it. We've got a direct-to-retail program. We're also partnered with AllPlay, and they've got a web store that sells it for us. It's available now, and you can go pick it up today. They do pretty cheap shipping. It's like $4 for your first thing and free for everything else. So you can get it anytime.
Nice. And the core game is how much, and the expansion is how much?
The core game is 74, and the first expansion is 34 as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. This is Justin at Moon Crab Games. We're talking about Leviathan Wilds. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, feeling good. Thank you.
All right, and we are back from our break / our interview / our next break. So, Anisha, we're probably running long. We haven't actually put in all the interviews yet, but I'm projecting it's probably going to be long. So I think we'll do this. Let's talk about one takeaway that each of us had from PAX Unplugged in general or PAX Unplugged this year, and then we'll close out the show. How's that sound?
Okay.
You want to go first? Or
why don't you go first?
Okay. I think what I'm going to say is I am really touched by the PAX, I guess it would be ReadPop employees. And when I say that, and I'm going to include enforcers in this, I think sometimes people like enforcers get a bad rap because they're just trying to do their jobs and people, want something and they don't get it. And, it's the enforcers that are standing between them and joy. But we've been doing PAX Unplugged for 8 years now, 9 years now.
As many years as it's been around.
As many years as it has existed. And some of the people that are working, like the employees, have known us the whole time. And right up there with the people from the industry that we get to say hi to are some of the folks that work the PAX conventions. And sometimes it even includes PAX East. And so it's really cool to see these guys and ladies who have known our kids since they were little.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah.
And it's a sweet time to have them talk to our kids because they've been talking to our kids, once a year for the last almost 10 years. And I just think they do a really good job. I mean, especially when you consider that the vast majority of the enforcers are volunteers.
Yeah.
Probably all of the actual enforcers are volunteers. I mean, they do a really impressive job of maintaining what that culture is supposed to look like and what that culture is supposed to be. And I recognize that there's way more nuance than most people realize in, for lack of a better term, crowd control.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes what is perceived as cluelessness is really just trying to make sure that they're doing the right thing because it's impossible to train for everything that these people need to do. But they somehow managed to do a really good job. I really love the way that they close the expo hall every night with the wave of enforcers. They call it the wall.
The wall.
And I have to give a shout out to Tim Fowers, who closes out at least Unplugged every year. I assume he does other conventions by walking the halls because he's, got a booth, he's an exhibitor, playing the bagpipes. I just think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's something about the culture of that, which is different from East. I mean, they have enforcers and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But there's just something a little bit different about PAX Unplugged. And I don't really know what it is, and maybe it's just that there's so much less electronic stuff around, I suppose. But just like the vibe is great. Like the number of times that I saw...
There's a family friendliness there.
There were so many babies.
There were so many babies this year.
And just kids in general. We gave out so many stickers. I have literally one keychain left. I don't know. I really enjoyed the people of it all this year.
Yeah.
Especially the employees and the enforcers.
I decided that what I'm going to talk about is something we did this year at PAX Unplugged that we've never done before, which was go and wait in line early to make sure that we got into a specific show.
We've never done it before as a full family.
Yes. And at PAX East, there's definitely been like whatever kid is with us being like, I really want to go see this thing. Can we go do? But all of our kids really wanted to see Jacques Whipper perform. I was all for that, and I wanted to make sure that that could happen for them, so we went and got in line more than an hour before his performance, which grated on you a little bit, but you were a good sport about it.
I don't mind waiting in line for things. Like, that's not my problem. My problem is that I'm like this ruthless efficiency machine, and like I can't get it out of my DNA, and the prospect of spending 2.5 hours not on the show floor where the show floor is already incredibly limited is just kind of painful.
When you have 59 booths that you have to get to.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could have seen the Obsession booth if I didn't spend 2.5 hours waiting in line and being in a thing. But it was fine. It was fine.
But the thing is, waiting in line at PAX Unplugged was so incredibly pleasant. Like, the enforcers showed us how to line up, how they wanted us to line up in the serpentine thing. And then we just hung out and talked with the people in front of us and behind us in line. Our daughter was showing off her drawings to one person who was also showing off their drawings. Our son was talking some kind of game system, I don't even remember what it was, with the people behind us in line. And it was great. It's stuff like that that reminds you that board gaming is a community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You and I usually talk about that in terms of the industry part of the community. But as you said with the enforcers, and as I'm saying with standing in line, it's really easy to find community of people who just come together over enjoying games and enjoying nerd culture, really.
Also, I want to point out, in all fairness, the queue line was a serpentine line of tape on the floor.
Yes.
And like, generally speaking, people followed the tape on the floor.
And we were more or less self-policing. Like, no, really.
That's what I mean.
They said you have to stay inside the tape.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is like, you can line hop pretty easy in a serpentine line that's made of tape on the floor. And it's possible that there were some isolated incidents of that, but generally speaking, it was pretty low-key, and people were courteous and polite and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. PAX Unplugged continues to be our favorite big convention.
For sure, 100%. First of all, because I don't have to fly to it. That helps a lot.
Taking the train was not bad, other than getting up super early in the morning.
I'm just glad we made it work.
But I'm glad we made it work. And we have so many good things to say about PAX Unplugged. So in the future, if you are able to get out to Philadelphia in December, we highly recommend it to you.
It's back to the weekend after Thanksgiving next year, by the way. So
thankfully.
that'll make a lot of things easier. All right, Anitra, let us get into our final admin, starting with our new back talk question.
Yes.
So one of the things that we did this past week wasn't really Christmas related or anything like that. I'm still finishing getting my office all set up. We mentioned a couple of months ago that we had a new air quote studio, which is just my office. And we've been putting things back together. One of those things that we finally got back together is our son's record player and some speakers and a little setup so that he and I can sit down here like old men and listen to records together.
Yeah. I can just barely hear it from upstairs when he starts listening to his Beatles album that opens with, The Joker? And it gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
Mm-hmm.
To
we
know
sat
that he's
down
doing
yesterday and listened to an entire Eric Clapton album.
Oh,
it was fun.
That's
nice. It was a good time. We're just sitting in our old chairs, chilling. Like, we need some smoking jackets or something. No smoking.
Just the smoking jackets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that led to the question, which is, what is your favorite thing to do with your family that is not playing board games?
I think that's an excellent question.
Now, so there's two different ways that you can tell us what that is. You can tell us on the Back Chalk channel on our Discord. That is the Family Tabletop community on Discord. You can get there by going to thefamilygamers.com/Discord. A lot of Discord there. Or you can head over to the Facebook community where we will put this question in a post. You can get there by going to Facebook and searching for the Family Gamers community, or going to thefamilygamers.com/community.
If you've got questions, comments, concerns, recipes, new For Science suggestions, we have one that we'll probably do for the next episode.
I am not looking forward to this one.
You can contact us all over social media at Family Gamers AA. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Instagram. I didn't do any TikTok this year at PAX Unplugged, but you can still get a hold of us there. We're even on Blue Sky and Threads at Family Gamers AA everywhere.
We're on YouTube too.
YouTube at Family Gamers AA or The Family Gamers. Either way.
Of course, you can always just send us emails if that's something you prefer. Andrew at thefamilygamers.com.
Anitra at thefamilygamers.com.
Please don't forget to subscribe to the show, tell your friends about the show, and leave us a review at Apple Podcast or whatever your podcast subscription source is. You can also find us on Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, and YouTube Music.
The Family Gamers is still sponsored by First Move Financial. Go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers and learn how the team at First Move Financial can help you pile up the victory points in real life.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move for sponsoring another episode of the show. Well, Anitra, we came home from PAX Unplugged with lots of games, both bought and for review. So we've got a lot to keep playing. We're going to talk about those, and we're going to talk about video games in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So until then, everybody, play games with your kids.